Today we're going to be going over to Coffee Island out of Bayou la Batre. It's in Bayou la Batre, Alabama. Launching that public launch over there, and then just kind of going southeast Coffee Island. Gonna fish there for a little while, then head over to Coden Bayou, that is to the east of Bayou la Batre, and then paddling all the way back. So covering, I think it was about 11 miles today. Alright, as you can see, we're paddling from Bayou la Batre over to Coffee Island. Water's pretty flat. Was a pretty nice morning to make this trip, and you're getting the very sped up version. Now we're going to be at the cut between the northern part of Coffee Island and the southern part. There's a little deep cut that runs through here, and the predatory fish kind of like to gang up in that deep cut and ambush bait. Throwing the Zman Streakz 3.75. Just kind of hopping it on the bottom, seeing what we get. Well, darn. At least we know there are trout here, though. Usually where there's one trout, there's got to be a few more. As you can see there, I was rubbing my lure on a little bit of that fish slime to kind of coat my lure and give it a little bit more of a natural fishy smell. A little bit cheaper than Procure. I'm getting a few bites in here, but it seems like most of the trout are small. And here's another little guy. He doesn't seem to be too big, though. So I'm thinking I'm not going to give this spot too much longer. It is usually a pretty okay area, but it seems just like it's loaded up with little trout today. Let's put this guy back, see if we can get maybe one or two more in here. Just going to give it a few more minutes. So I've picked up and moved to a little creek on the other side of the island, just working it a little bit. The tide was kind of low and it's been coming up all morning. A lot of bait in this creek, a lot of little bait. Just hopping that Streakz along, hoping I can get something. It's been pretty dead back here so far. I am seeing some little flashes of fish coming. Ooh, what do we got right here? This is, what is this? It's probably a redfish, since we're back in a marsh creek. Yep, it's a little redfish, and it's going to be borderline whether it's keeper or not. We're going to stick him on the measuring board and see, though, because he's on that 16, 17, 18 inch size. So this fish is just a little over 16 inches, like 16 and a half. I'm trying to decide whether or not it's worth it to keep it, because if the game warden catches me and this fish is, you know, his tail's dried up and he's shrunk a little bit, wouldn't be good. And I'm holding him up thinking, and he just flops out of my hand. So, you know, it's okay, I guess. I was thinking about letting him go anyhow, so it's no big loss really. He gets to swim and fight another day. Working further on in the creek. Ooh, and I felt that thump. I don't know what this is. It's kind of staying to the bottom. Wait a minute, that's not a flounder. I thought it was a flounder. That's a little crab. I went fishing in a ditch and caught a crab. That's crazy. It happens occasionally, but usually they just grab the bait and let it go. But I actually hooked this one in the shell. So I'm going to have to be a little careful on here so he doesn't bite me. Saw some fish way back in this creek, just standing up to see what they are, and it looks like they're mullet from what I can see. So once I am convinced there's no redfish in here, I'm going to turn around and go out of this creek, and we are about to start heading to Coden Bayou. I cut out that long paddle, but here you can see we're at Coden Bayou. You see the cranes and boats and working equipment there in the background. I'm going to ease in a little bit closer. A lot of guys fishing on the bank near the mouth, so kind of had to get past them before starting my fishing. Still using that Streakz 3.75, just hopping along the bottom. It's kind of a go-to for me. Okay, here's a little intersection around where an island is. Just hooked up with something. I'm thinking it's a little redfish. Could be a flounder. Oh, nope, it's a little red. Not going to be a keeper. It's in that 15-inch range. Gave us a good fight, though. Alright, I've hooked something right here. I think might be a flounder. It's fighting like a, oh yeah, little flounder. Not quite going to be a keeper. In Alabama they have to be 14 inches. I don't believe this guy's going to make it. We'll stick him on the measuring board, I think, anyway. No, not long enough. He's a little over 13. But, oh well. He'll get to swim another day. Maybe we'll catch him again when he's bigger. Thanks for the fight, little buddy. Back in the water you go. That's about as much fun as you can have in one day. Starting to paddle back now. As you can see, the seas are not quite as flat as they were this morning. Not dangerous or anything, but just gotta be careful not get flipped by a wave, although they're not too big, I'm gonna say. Looks worse than it really is. See, we're back in Bayou la Batre now, just paddling back towards the launch, getting ready to wrap it up for the day. I was awfully tired after that trip. I think that was something like 11 miles. Slept good that night. Caught a few fish though. Caught some trout early. Caught a redfish. Caught a few little flounder over there in Coden Bayou. Didn't have any size to them. But very fun trip. If you haven't been over to Coffee Island, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the video.